I'm Andre Lazar. Welcome to Dudes and Dominoes. Y'all know what it is. Let's go! Dominoes podcast. Listen, we in the praise game, about to slap some bones. Today, man, we having a good time. We had a great time last week with race relations. This week we talking something good. We're talking about fatherhood. So get ready because we hitting everything. We seen some stuff on the internet with these fathers and their sons, or they used to be sons and now they not. But we want to talk about it. We want to talk about getting people back in, how do we gear our children, how do we raise, and what is fatherhood, especially in the African American community. So we're going to get right into it. This is your boy, Andre Lazar. We ready to get it cracking here in the praise cave. Let me say, I got my boys with me. That's Bobby Mack. Of course, he here. We got Sylvia Dew. We got Donnell Stevenson. But now we got a special guest. We brought him straight in from Evanston, Illinois. We brought him in. The reason why we brought him in for this fatherhood show is that he's a single father that raises a daughter that has dealt with mental illness. So that's another thing that we're going to talk about. How do we handle when we deal with mental illness? So without further ado, let's give it up for Mr. Kenyon Hunter. Come on. You the guest, so you know what you gotta do.
What I gotta do now?
I mean, did he watch?
15.
He watched. They already slapping bones. Alright, so let's get right into it then, man, since we already into it. Hey, Ken, go and talk about it, man. Talk about some of the things that, first of all, introduce yourself, because don't nobody know you. So let's introduce yourself. And then go from there, man.
I got a 21-year-old daughter. She just finished up at, she finished her third year at FAMU. And, she out there getting it, man. So, I'm from Evanston. You know the story, the single father, me and baby mama, whatever happened with that. And never got married to her or anything like that. But, through her journey is that she's dealt with some mental health issues. Us as a community, we kind of, our old school cats like us, we kind of tend to, frown upon that. When we was coming up, we didn't know nothing about no mental health.
Right.
Our thing was, man, you quit being a punk.
Right, absolutely.
Whatever it is,
which is crazy,
right?
Yeah.
But when I talk to Dre about it, man, when you think about mental health issues, 400 years of oppression, man. If anybody got a right to be oppressed, got a right to have mental health issues, it's us.
That's true. That's
true. Come on. That's what it is. So she's dealing with her demons, man. Mental health, as far as I'm concerned.
Is your daughter?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And again, back to our community, it's frowned upon. We don't like to admit to.
Man, you gotta whoop her a little more when she was a child.
Hell no, that's that savage beast. That's the savage beast. But no, you gotta create more love. Yeah. But real talk though, that's really how we was raised. Right, we was raised. Basically, you gotta you get a yeah. Well, he was just messing with you, but yeah. That's an old no. We in 2020. Let me ask you this though, man. Since since we right into it, and since we dealt with mental illness, I've had all my children. I gotta count. I got 5 kids, and I promise you, I know 3 of them have been to counseling. Right, 3 of them have been to mental counseling. Wow. Okay. And my son in particular, he'll tell you how good he felt like counseling is for him. He had to talk to his therapist even during this when we was dealing with the George Floyd situation. Wow. My son had to go talk to his therapist. That's powerful. So in our community, and see, we have to not, as fathers, because we talk about fatherhood, we can't be so prideful that we like, man, come on, bro. You a therapist, dude? What is wrong with you, bro? You can't talk to your pops. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we don't have the answers, and then sometimes we don't have the questions.
Sometimes we're the problem.
And sometimes we're the problem.
Can we hear from your son and his perspective on that?
Drake, hold on. So, Andre, go ahead and share about what's your experience with your therapist? How did you even come to that point? Here, why don't you come over here so you can be over here in the light?
Well, I went to film school, so in 2016 I took a writing class, and for 15% extra credit, they said we can go see a therapist. They're supposed to help you write, getting more into it yourself and something like that. So I went to see her for 30 minutes, and I was, you know me, I talk a lot. And I was asking her about her and all this, and she just was sitting there listening to me. And that night, she emailed me and said, next time you come, stop asking me questions. I want to hear about you. And I noticed, so as I was talking, I was uncovering things that I was pushing down. I feel like you raised me to live a life that I'm not pitiful. Like I don't need someone to tell me, oh, it's okay and this or that. Nah, we gonna get ours.
Yeah.
And I was pushing down every emotion that wasn't happiness, because that's the only emotion that I felt comfortable in. So that's what I can move in. She taught me, my therapist taught me, that she believes that depression, when people murder people and all these things, is because they feel emotions and don't know how to act in them because it's foreign to them. She taught me how to act. She taught me how to be aware of my emotions. Taught me how to, yeah, you're sad right now, but that don't mean you gotta go hide in a bar. That don't mean you gotta go cut yourself, or you gotta go hit somebody because you're angry. You can be sad, you can function, you can be mad, and you can function just like when you're happy and you're functioning. And I think that in our community, especially, it is looked down upon to express. So we express ourselves through screaming, we express ourselves through drinking, we express ourselves through having sex, doing something to leave what's our internal struggle. And I think that fathers, like my dad and other fathers, need to make it a social norm for your son, your daughter to speak to you about things that's bothering you. We sometimes feel scared about her. I don't know if I can talk to him about this. That's why I was talking to her. And then I was seeing her for 2 years. I didn't tell them until my last year, like the last two months into it. I was in my kitchen. I'm like, I know I see a therapist. And they're like, are you seeing a therapist? I'm like, yeah, I've been seeing her for 2 years.
Wow.
Because I didn't know it was okay. It was okay to be vulnerable.
So what did your father say? So was it accepted when you told us that you were seeing a therapist?
Yeah.
How was it received?
And I emailed her that night after I told y'all, actually. Because he's like, wow, what for? I'm explaining to them why I went. My sister at the table, she struggles a lot with flashes of anxiety and things like that. And she's like, I want to see one. And then it was I just felt so happy, because I'm like, it's okay to not be fine.
Accepted.
Yeah.
Right.
And to need someone else to get it out. And it just felt great. I had to tell them, like, man, my family is like, they thought it was cool. She came to like 3 of my shows. I do theater. I do a lot of shows. She came to 3 of them. She made it a point not to interact with them because they didn't know yet. Right. And I just thought that was awesome. I think everybody, even if you're not going through something, you need to talk.
Absolutely.
Because you subconsciously throw stuff under the bus when you just need to get it out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's good. So that's what's up. That's what's somebody on the other side, your family.
Yeah.
So one thing that I learned about Dre as a father, and since the show is about fathers and raising their kids, as a father, I had to understand that I don't have all the answers, and it's okay that I don't have all the answers, and that somebody else may have the answer for my kid or for my family, even for me. And so that's one thing about raising, when he told me, and then all of a sudden, like he said, now my youngest daughter, who really struggles with anxiety, really needs, she goes to see a therapist. And she'd have to tell you how her sessions are. I think her situation is a little more complex.
This dude's Dominoes. She can't tell. She can't come.
Hey, so what Dre just said was so powerful. And the reason why it was powerful is because that's what it helped me understand is when we control our emotions. And the thing is that just because we're upset, having the ability to be able to produce even while you're upset. Mm-hmm. But it all comes back to, I believe, I think you said it, Bob, was you was talking about the spirit of love. So even in anger, we still gotta walk in love. Mm-hmm. Even in sadness, I still wanna walk in love. Even in anxiousness, I still wanna make sure that I can control it in love. And so sending my son to a therapist like that, not only did it help him, when he went to therapy, it helped the whole family. Right. Because he was able to share with the family what he was learning in therapy. You know what I'm saying?
And that's some of the problems that we have with some of the men. Some of us alpha males, we're so dominant, our sons be scared to even express themselves. Mm-hmm. So they internalize so much. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they be scared to say the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. And so for Dre being able to go out and share, that help. I can see how that can help.
But listen what he said. He said, didn't he say that? He said he didn't know how it was going to be received.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't know how it was going to be received. Tell me this, Ken. So when Rennie went to therapy, what was the effects on you and the family?
You know, when mine went, man, she was at a point where she just didn't really, she didn't want to tell her story to anybody other than the therapist. So she was still kind of shutting me out on stuff and things of that extent. Mm-hmm. So I mean, when you tell me about Dre, and Dre was like, man, let me share this wealth. Mm-hmm. Where she was more like, kind of compartmentalizing her stuff and was just like, okay, well, nah, I ain't gonna tell everybody where I'm at with it. But
man, Dre took a while, remember? Dre took a while before he went almost a whole season of therapy before he even let them know. Right.
Well, mine was just like, everybody's got their own course, man. You can't tell her or any of you or anybody else how to deal with it. My thing was just, okay, well, just go ahead and talk to somebody about it.
Okay. Obviously, did that break your heart though?
Absolutely, but it's not my. It's not.
That would break my heart.
Right.
That your kids went to therapy?
No. That you would choose to speak to a therapist on issues, but not talk to me about it.
Right. But see, that's the mindset that our kids have. Is that they don't want us to know that they can't talk to us. Right. That's what Bob is talking about. So as a parent, as a father, when we talk about fatherhood, it's critical that we
create an atmosphere.
That we create an atmosphere that they feel comfortable enough, but yet being held accountable. That we still have to hold them accountable, but we still have to create an atmosphere where they can be productive.
Well, I did that with Malcolm. But he brought it to me and my attention. That you like putting too much pressure on me. It's all right if I cry. Because when he was a wrestler, that stuff was tough as hell. But then, the kind of mindset we have, you just like constantly putting pressure on him. You ain't supposed to cry. Shake that shit off. Get in there. But he brought that to my attention like that. It should be okay for me to express myself.
Right. Now we speaking from the man's perspective, but my kids would go to my wife with everything and keep me out of it. And I'm like, wait a minute, I love y'all to death. I'll die for y'all. Right. You know what I mean? Why I can't get in because as alpha males, we're going to hold them accountable more so than these women. For the most part, I know I'm generally speaking, there's always exceptions to the rule. But the mama's gonna say, it's all right. Even if they mention homosexuality. Mama's gonna be like, I'm gonna still love you. Daddies, we love you, but no, that's wrong. That ain't right. Mama's gonna act like it's okay. So
you just opened up a can of worms
right there, right?
You just opened up a can of worms. But before we get into that, because I sure got some thoughts, and I want to talk about when you said that. You know what it made me think about? D-Wade.
Yeah. Oh man.
So we'll deal with that in a second. But you was about to say something.
I was just gonna say my experience with the mental health, and I don't like you say an alpha male. Feel like I don't telling nobody can't tell me how to deal with stuff. But in my first marriage, I went to go see the psychiatrist, and the first day I got there, he said, "Why you here?" And I told him, I said, "I'm trying to save my family."
There you go.
But he really threw a curve at me. He said, "You trying to say?" I told him I want my family. He said, "But what if your family don't want you?"
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
So in other words, you gotta be bigger than that.
That's what I'm saying. He told me
You gotta
that.
be deeper than that.
And then I was like, "Man, you just I never looked at it like that."
Right. So what was that? Yeah, that's deep. What
And he was saying, you got to be here for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And because you can't be concerned about what your family wants.
Come on.
You have to be concerned what you want. Because you here because apparently there's something with you that's going on. And I'm like, I never thought that my family didn't want me. Well, maybe my ex-wife might not want me, but the kids, you know what I'm saying? Right.
At least the kids.
But the crazy thing is,
Right.
what I did was because I know how I feel to go through a divorce,
Right.
mother and father, and I know how that have an effect on the kids.
Right.
So my kids actually went through therapy. And when they went through therapy, I asked them, what did they get out of it? Because my two daughters used to always clash. And what my daughters told me, it helped their relationship with each other. And they was in 7th and 8th grade at the time. You know, so as far as I'm concerned, if you got something you got to deal with and you can't deal with it mentally, I think physical therapy is good. But I'm gonna take it to another level. If you're gonna get mental health, you need to get spiritual guidance as well. Because it goes together. And if you try to separate it, I'm telling you, it's so much alike.
I gotta cut in right there because when you first said something about you want to save your family, the word says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and these things will be added unto you." So you was coming to say,
my spiritual therapy?
right, and your therapist said, and when you seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, that's all about you.
Come on now.
And then these things will be added. So your therapist first stepped right in and said, what if they don't want you? In other words, you need to be coming for you. And that lines up with the word.
I've learned a lot from it, I'm telling you.
So in essence, what I got out of what you said, which was powerful, is that you're not responsible. That your family's not responsible for your happiness.
Absolutely not.
Your family's not responsible for what's going on inside of you.
And all that came from mental health, going to see somebody.
Going to see somebody.
But I had that mentality. Can't nobody tell me what, I know it ain't me, it's somebody else. I'm telling you, we have that mentality and we don't, and then as black men, when we go to seek mental health, the majority of us look at that like a sign of weakness.
But it's personal. That's what I'm getting out of it. Mental health is a personal thing.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got PTSD. I got it for real. And so what that is a mental disorder, right? It's post-traumatic stress disorder. Now we can say everybody that grew up in the hood, we have some sort of
PTSD.
post-traumatic stress disorder, right?
But there's levels.
But there's levels to it,
Definitely
right?
levels.
And so our children go through mental health and mental disorders. What they're dealing with is certain things that set them off in certain places, and we have to make. And that's where, to your point, where your sons will go straight to their mama instead of you, because maybe their mama will nurture them in a manner where we not helping. Because what we doing is we triggering something
And I think
that's
you
causing
need both.
that stress.
Right. Definitely gotta have a balance.
I think you need
saying?
both as far as the tolerance and accountability.
But that's where as a father, because we the lead, right? We the head, right? And we talking fatherhood. But that's where as a father, we have to take control. We have to manage the whole situation and not let our alpha male-isms or our egos get in the way of my wife is handling that. But now I have to make sure that me and my wife, we got to get on that same
Because it's
thing.
still about accountability. They can go to her for compassion, but we still need to resolve this. We still need to overcome it.
Absolutely.
Mental health is something.
Absolutely.
Like
So-
I said, like half of my uncles was like mentally disturbed. So we got like a family history of that. I mean, like really mentally disturbed. Just lost it over time.
Oh yeah.
My Uncle Jimmy used to run from the Clare Courts to West Pullman just to run the whole way. Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, Anthony, I love you. Angela, I love you. And run back.
Well,
Literally. 43rd and 6th Road.
He ran out there.
But he was mentally disturbed. He just used to punch people in the projects. It was a lot going on.
But
That's just one of my uncles.
But to Donnell's point, we all need to make sure as fathers, we talking fatherhood, right? So as fathers, we all need to make sure that it's okay to get help from somebody else. And that we need to give our kids, our families, our communities that leeway. Now, with that being said, how do y'all feel about if your son or daughter is homosexual? And you know you didn't raise them that way.
How I feel about it?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna like it. I ain't gonna tolerate it. I'm not gonna support it. Not at all. I ain't support it. I love you and I support you, but I ain't supporting that. If my son is a killer, I still love you. I'm not supporting your killing. If my son is a liar, I love you. I'm not supporting your lie.
I got you.
If my son is a thief, I love you. I'm not supporting your thievery.
Right.
If my son is a homosexual,
Right.
I love you, but I'm not supporting it. Don't bring that stolen stuff up in here. Don't bring the murder weapons up in here. Don't bring no gay boyfriend up in here.
I got you.
That's my thing.
As a father, this used to aggravate me more than anything, especially with my daughters, is that you'll go outside and meet a boy and believe him before you believe somebody that raised you. And then I ask myself, where did I go wrong? And then that goes back to what I said as being divorce have a negative effect on kids. Because had me and her stayed one as a unit, a lot of that stuff wouldn't have been accepted.
Do you think so?
I know so.
My mother and father was together forever. My sisters made some crazy choices for being.
Well, there's exceptions always to every rule.
Yeah.
We're talking generally speaking.
Generally speaking.
People that come up with both parents in the house end up faring better and have less social problems.
But as far as decision making
Right.
with men, that's different. And I think that's something that we as fathers we gotta really take accountability for. We gotta take accountability for our children and their decision making.
Yeah, let me ask you this, man. I'm kind of spin on a little bit what you guys are talking about, what we're talking about. How about the like you have a daughter? You have a daughter. You're not with the mother, okay? And they're they're going through the process of dating the opposite sex and everything like that, but they don't want to listen to what you gotta say. But they'll listen to their mom, though.
But you don't know they're not listening, bro.
Right. You don't know, but it just seems like
I believe that I believe they hear it. If you giving them the right stuff,
They
here's what
hear.
G said. You said this, Bob. You said you gave us this. What your spiritual counselor said. When you have a spiritual mindset to give your child, when you have a spiritual mindset for your family, and your mindset is pure, I don't believe that if you're giving your daughter pure wisdom, and you're giving her pure, and you really seeking God for your wisdom, and you giving that to your daughter, and you giving that to your son,
Right.
I don't believe that they're not hearing.
Right, okay.
They may not do, but I believe they're
Right.
hearing.
Right.
And eventually, that's why you will say, how many times you said this? Now I understand what my old man was talking about back then.
Yeah.
Right.
But let's get back to the homosexual part. Society is corrupt. Society is corrupt, and we know that the rulers of this world have gay, homosexual rituals, is what some people say. The rulers of this world control the media, which helps shape the mind. Back in the 50s, when TV first came out, it was rare that you could see above a woman's knees with a dress.
Yeah.
Right.
People, the rulers of this world have changed it where you can see naked people, you can see this. Now they even bring it where homosexuality is prevalent all over TV. That's the influence, you know what I mean, that the rulers of this world have. Give me 15 while you're doing that.
So when you say the rulers of this world have, so we get that. So they controlling it. What
The mind feeds on what is fed.
Okay.
So I believe if we want to change the world, we need to glamorize different things. We need to highlight different things because what you see influences you. When they started promoting blunts, more people started smoking blunts. When they started promoting drive-bys in the poverty, and then in the poverty negative, in the socially economically deprived neighborhoods, you have more drive-bys. When you start promoting Louis Vuitton, more people buying Louis Vuitton. Now they promoting homosexuality. More people are going to think
And
that.
society-
This is the power of the media.
But society is allowing our kids, because now that social media is more dangerous than helpful. And so when you start accepting it and making it fair, you know, it's like, it's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with two women.
But
Who got the double three? Who got the double three?
Me. But the craziest thing is, the young people or people don't understand, it's just all a trend. But it's a dangerous trend when you're talking about
Do you
homosexuality.
have both threes?
No, I just got the double.
Play your double three and let him out.
But no, it's a dangerous trend. That's what it is. It's because it's popular.
It's like a phase you go through.
Dre, it's because
What?
it's popular.
Homosexuality?
Yes, and
Why? Because people control the narrative.
yes.
You know, do you realize the media tells us what to argue? They put stuff out there tell us what to argue.
Absolutely.
They threw stuff out when the riots came and
Absolutely.
saying we tearing up our community. So everybody say we tearing up our stuff like we own these stores.
So,
Now,
but
they
so
also
to
said-
a point, they
look,
promoting
listen,
this.
The media also said that your grandmama can't get a prescription. My mother ain't missed a prescription. You know, when they tell all this stuff, they tell us what to argue and we regurgitate. So the media, same way they tell us what to argue, they tell us what the trends are.
So back
So
to
it's
my
systemic.
point, they creating this trend or fueling it. Is that true? Y'all believe that?
I
I'm
believe
talking
it
about
is.
the homosexual stuff is a trend.
Which I told you, the people that rule the world have.
But
So,
you gotta
I
say
got-
this though, that
Let me
LGBT
Let me
is,
get these young people in here, cause I want to
Powerful
get
as
these.
hell.
I want to get
Yes.
these young, cause see,
Let's hear from the young.
this generation, the way they look at homosexuality, and the way we look at homosexuality
It's
is totally different.
Yeah, wait.
Is it different? So y'all look at
I
it.
think it
it's
is.
much different. I'm gonna speak on this.
Tomas
I
is
don't
in the
think-
building.
I don't think it's a trend to be homosexual. I think homosexuality is a born trait, not a taught trait. But I think it's a trend that people are more out about it and more vocal about it.
Okay.
Because
Definitely.
Okay.
times are getting different. Everybody's traits that they have about them that are discriminated against are being able to be put on a broader spectrum and broader scale for everybody to consume, as y'all would say, or to see on a national scale. So I don't necessarily think, because I know people have been gay in ancient times, and
Yeah.
I don't think there was any media to show people how to be gay or anything. That's just something that
Media
they
just makes it
attracted
more
to.
prevalent.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on
It
that.
makes it more acceptable, makes it more prevalent because the mind feeds on what is fed. If somebody never even looked at it, at that possibility, then they wouldn't explore it. There's gonna always be some exceptions. Some people gonna explore it. But
Yeah.
when more people see it, more people gonna explore it.
Right.
I think
And if you shoot heroin in your vein, you might like it.
I think
Some people might get an anus up, penis up their anus and like it.
I think the media makes it. I think the media puts on a broader scale.
Who was it, man?
I think the media puts on a broader scale that it's okay to explore things. Some men and women might be afraid to explore those things, so they never might not go down that path, but they always had that feeling. You feel me? So it's a lot of people that I know that been, lady killers their entire life, but then all of a sudden you hear about their past or some secret in their life, and they've been doing this the whole time, but you would never know, and it's not because of the media, it's because of the media that they're coming out.
Okay, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you on something.
Right, because
you made a comment. You made a comment. You said people are born like that. I think homosexuality.
It's definitely
a choice.
We can agree to disagree.
Because
No,
my thing
it's
is
definitely
when people say that they was born like that, see, I know the God I serve. Mm-hmm. He ain't made no mistake. Mm-hmm. He made man and he made woman.
And this is one mistake right here to show you where the confusion come from. The same God that don't make no mistakes, some men born with a penis become gay, psychologically feel they should be a woman, born that way, so what you say, which I say is a confusion. Mm-hmm. Confusion is not of the Most High. Mm-hmm. And God don't make mistakes. And they so confused, they will cut their penis off and put a vagina. You think they were born like that?
Hey, let
no.
me ask you this.
Before we get to that.
Wait, hold on. I know my God as well, and I know the Bible doesn't say it's a sin to be gay, but it's a sin to act on those.
No, he said it's an abomination.
It's a difference.
He said it's an abomination.
To act on that though.
All right.
If you feel that way, your inner feelings is not a sin. You can feel any type of way you want.
No. I think I read where it says if you think in that lustful way, you done sin.
But you can't help. You can't stop yourself from thinking or feel a way.
Well, it's taught, and you're not born that way. It's taught somewhere down the line.
They've been gay since they've been born. They've always thought about men. They've had the most masculine male figure in their life.
You gotta stop right there. Mm-hmm. You gotta stop right there.
Go ahead, let me hear you. I'm listening to all arguments. Please tell me.
You just said they were born and thinking about men since they because when you're a kid, that's the last thing on your damn mind.
Right.
That's the very last thing you ever thought about.
Right, you saying that for 2 months you see another boy on this 2 months and you ready to reach over? So that means you couldn't have been born with.
Well, hold on. From the time you get a chance to actually express yourself
by that time you've been conditioned by contributing factors that condition you by that time.
I disagree because a lot of people.
Well, first of all, some people are born with a high predisposition to alcohol, genetically. But until you decide to drink, that stuff don't feel that good to you, it's still a choice to go ahead and drink. So no matter what you predisposed to, even genetically and physically, you still have to choose to do it.
But let's bring this in.
And once you make that choice and you feel that it feels good with you, now you ride.
So you can be genetically predisposed for a preference, correct?
You can be genetically predisposed to anything, but before you,
exactly.
But you still have to make a choice.
But you say abomination.
I gotta say this.
Hold on. Real quick. We just gonna bring it in. Say what you gonna say real quick.
No, I gotta say this because killers run in families. Some people are homicidal.
Right.
You know, and their father was a killer. It's in them to be a killer. Mm-hmm. But they had to make that choice to kill somebody and realize it feels good in my blood. It's something that I want. They had to make a choice to do it, even though they were predisposed. Alcoholism is the same way. You predisposed, but you gotta have a drink to realize that drink feels good. It's still a choice. I had to choose to kill, even though you say I was predisposed to it. It's in my family genes. And that stuff in your family genes, homosexuality ain't in your family genes.
Okay.
But anyway, even if it was, you still have to make a choice to do whatever you do. You have to make a choice. So therefore, it's a choice.
To that argument, I'm glad you made that argument. But you just said to me that if you're feeling the way and you have a preference in your mind, that's an abomination, that's a sin. But if I'm genetically predisposed to that preference, wouldn't that be something that out of my control if I'm genetically predisposed for that preference?
I don't think you can be genetically predisposed. I don't think you can genetically be predisposed to homosexuality.
But let me get clarity. I'm gonna get clarity on what he said. What he said when he's talking about thinking. The Bible says when you look upon a person, you look upon a woman, or you look upon her, and then you think that you wanted to do something when you look upon her, then that is sin. right?
Okay.
That's what he's talking about. Now,
Correct.
what you're talking about from a standpoint, and I don't even want to answer you right now. Only reason why is because I want Jeremy to get in. Go get in, Jeremy. Talk to him. Reason why, see, these young people thinking different.
Yes.
And see, instead of us really, see, the thing is, because what I love what he did was, what he's showing them is that he's showing them that regardless of how you think, regardless of, it's just like when Dre talked about mental health. When you first come in, the first thing that your mental health teacher or your therapist is going to tell you, it's okay to have these feelings, but but how are you going to act? The Bible says, "Be angry and sin not." So in essence, you can be in an emotional state, or you can be in a place or a state, and you don't have to act on that place or that state. Because, especially when you know that if now this is the key here, and this is what I'm gonna get to in a minute after Jeremy. If you believe that it's wrong, if you believe that this is against God, because see, some people don't believe that, and we gotta realize that. We got to realize some people don't believe it's against God because they've been conditioned by whatever their atmosphere is to believe that. They've been, so we got to understand people's belief systems is their belief system. But the truth, it makes you free. There's so many people that have been in that lifestyle, right? And they come into the knowledge of the truth.
Yeah,
Then they feel so much better.
Right, I know.
Right? But go ahead, Jeremy. I want you to get in here.
Go ahead, 'cause I was about to say something here.
No, let me know.
Go ahead, go
The
ahead.
question was like, what do
I
I
think
think
about
about?
homosexuality.
I think like it's a lot of like theories that you can like touch up on it. I don't really like to go too much into it.
Just say what you think. It's
so
all
like,
right, bro.
So, but why you don't like to go into it?
It's all right, bro. Just
I was talking to this one guy, and he was pretty much, and I forgot what we was talking about, but we touched on the homosexuality topic, and then I said, I think sometimes like for men that's coming up, they be like, you know, brought up. Well, I wouldn't say brought up the right way, but like they brought up to be like men, but I feel like life hit them, and then it's like I feel like being a man is hard. You see what I mean? Like regardless, and everything like dealing with courts. Dealing with the police, you know, it's hard. And dealing with like women, you know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes some men do it for a means of survival. So
it's easy.
It's easy. I like it.
and
I
then
touch on his point too.
and then they'll switch to be a woman. Cause they may think like, if I was a woman, it may be hard. Like it may be easier. You see what I mean? So it's like.
Let me ask y'all this.
That's a lot.
I'm not disagreeing.
But he just said something.
Hey, that's that little brother's opinion.
Yes.
I got an opinion.
Wait, hold on.
Well, hold on. Go ahead.
It's just a theory.
Right. No, and I'm not disagreeing with you.
Right. And it's valid. That
It's
theory
a
is
valid theory,
Right.
man.
What-
You can't dismiss it.
As a black man, young black man or anything, we all know we already have hurdles in front of us, right? So what young black man would actually add on to that burden if it's a choice to choose to go ahead and be gay too? I mean,
To his point, he said it's easy.
I don't think a black man would want to do that to himself purposely.
Right.
I think it's an innate trait about themselves. I don't
And
think
I
any
don't-
black men in this world.
yeah, and I don't believe-
But okay, so I'll explain.
But listen to me, bro.
I can answer that
But
question.
He
listen.
said it's easy.
I would like
To some, that's some thoughts.
I can answer that question. I'll tell you why.
You gotta take that Cubs hat off. You
First of all, I got to behind
All you gotta do is duck and they gonna shoot you. They find you ducking, bang, boom, up.
So you know what it is. Number one, black man is already born 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Exactly.
So what they thinking, to get that walk, if I be gay, I got an automatic walk. So I ain't got to worry about that. That's what they rock.
That's what he
Okay,
said.
so to answer your question, because I don't think it's just like with black men as well. Like you still have like different races, homosexual, like Caucasians.
Sure,
whatever. You see what I mean? So like I said, I feel
But
like
they don't. But Caucasians, you know, they got their
But
privilege.
like
So
I
let's
said,
get real right now.
I feel like survival.
But hold on, dog. Real talk. Let's get real right now. we gotta realize some truth. So here's some truth. Some truth about being gay and things of that nature, right? Truth about it is most people that are gay have had a situational lifestyle,
Some experience,
a bad lifestyle, had a bad experience. Most, I would say, the majority of people that are gay have had bad experiences. They were either molested as a kid,
right?
Or so when you start talking about in generations, so it goes from one generation. But we don't know what's going on in everybody's house. So I'm not saying I'm not gonna shoot a blanket statement, but I'm gonna say it's trauma that is associated with. Matter of fact,
well, you know, I worked in the mental health field with behavior disturbed children, and most of the time they had issues. It was directly what Dre said. Somebody had manipulated them.
Yes, you did. You got.
And that's the thing. So when you have that, you gotta. We as fathers, because we gotta stay with what we are. We talking fathers. If as a father, your son come to that, my first thing is what has happened.
Right.
See, my first thing ain't about. You know he know in the door you don't approve of. Otherwise, he would have been cool to come out, right? He know in the door that ain't who you are because you've always been who you've been, right? So what is taking place in their lives that has caused them to make, and it's a choice, bro. Because and the reason why I'm gonna say that is they could say you born gay. I ain't gonna say you're not born with chemical imbalances, because that's what it is. It's a chemical imbalance within your brain cells. That's what trauma is. It becomes your chemicals in your body become imbalanced. So you talk about a chemical imbalance, right? So they may be born with chemical imbalances. No question about it. However, you still have to, something has to stimulate that action.
Emotion, that is.
Something stimulates it, bro.
So I'm glad you said that. I want to talk on growth point right here. Steve, what's your name?
That's
Shoot.
I just wanted to address it.
Call him Wu-Tang. Call him Tang.
So you made a point about it being popular, and that's something I can, because we disagreeing on everything, but I can agree with that as well. I have a friend that's either a homosexual male, he labels himself as bi, and he told me, he was like, yeah, man, being bi or being gay is lit right now. A lot of people are doing it. I'm just like, so I'm kind of in the field of some people are born with it, but some people also choose to do it later in life just because that's what they seem like y'all are saying. So I don't disagree with y'all like that. Media is pushing it, so it's making more people like that.
It's opening up the possibility. It's opening up the
It
possibility
makes you
of
numb
what people even
to
think.
the
Oh, I
fact
might
that
be
it's
trying.
wrong. So what happens is you see it so much, it becomes numb to you. And so when you watch a television show,
And that's when the God give you a way to a reprobate mind.
when everything you watching,
And that's in the
when
Bible.
everything you watching and everything you're seeing, you're not protecting what you see, you're not protecting what you hear. So when you don't, these are gates to your soul.
Absolutely.
And what's
That's what I said,
happening
mass
is,
media manipulation.
and what's happening is that we've been so infiltrated. Our eye gates and our ear gates have been infiltrated with this lifestyle. To whereas this lifestyle is now accepted.
So here to
Right,
go along with
let me
all.
say something about, and this is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say thank you for inviting me, because nowadays, and I don't know you, and I don't know you,
Right.
and I can just hear the way y'all talk. Y'all know somebody that is gay. That's within your association. You understand what I'm saying?
John looking at you like, what you trying to say?
No, I ain't trying to say that right now. But what I'm saying is, and what I'm just telling you, I know us as me.
Absolutely.
I gotta think long and hard that I know Yellow Cakes grew up in 8 apartments. Yellow
But I'm
Cakes
just
gonna
saying,
see
but
that. Hey, that's the gay I knew growing up. Yellow Cakes.
But what I'm saying is that's why I appreciate you inviting
What up,
me
Cakes?
because we have to see their perspective.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because we're not gonna accept it.
Now,
as
before
men.
this
But-
new generation,
Right.
Before this new generation, I used to think it was a couple of things that led people to being gay. Some of them were men who were ostracized. Maybe they weren't as strong and as tough and as ostracized as the other men. I mean, as strong and as tough and accepted by the other men that they were ostracized, and people called them weak and they got pushed in a certain corner. So they came up with a psychosis. and then there's a group that accepted them.
Man, you sound like you went to college.
Yeah, I mean, but then there's also a group that grew up around all women. So they grew up adopting feminine ways. There's also some who just saw their mother, loved their mother. So they saw their mother in the mirror. So they started emulating as a baby. They saw their mother talking to a man feeling a certain way. Start feeling that and emulating that as a baby.
Come on, boy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they start gravitating. Now they want to put makeup, and now they like the way a man makes their mother feel. They love their mother.
Come on.
So they sitting around, and now they want to see a man in me. I want a man to make me feel that.
Come on, boy.
So it's some different ways and different things that help get people to that state that they try it.
So
and they make the choice. Some of them
Magic
get
Johnson's
pushed.
son and the Wade son.
Okay.
How you throw Isaiah Thomas? He got a gay son too.
But
I mean,
Isaiah
I'm
Magic
not, no
used to kiss
judgment
each other all
zone,
the
but
time.
like, where did that come from?
Hollywood.
Right.
That gay
But to G's point, look at his surroundings,
If
bro.
your daddy if your son see you kissing another man, you giving them the impression that it's okay.
Right.
He just said Isaiah
Magic and
Thomas.
Isaiah, they the kid.
Right, he said you made
But then, now back to my point. To finish my point, look, check it out. To finish my point. To finish my point.
Yeah, okay.
To finish my point on some of those things that start pushing you toward that corner or creating a curiosity,
Right.
or even a desire.
Right.
Then you try it.
Yes.
Because it's okay though.
Look, and
Because
then,
you
but
feel
now
like
with
it's
the
okay.
new society now, the
Right.
new society showing it like it's okay.
Come on.
So then when you try it, you like it.
Yes.
Now you gone.
Who up?
Now the same way, if you shoot heroin up your veins,
I was about to say crack.
you know what I mean? You
Go
shoot
ahead.
heroin up your veins, you're gonna like it.
Yes.
Just because you tried it and you like it don't mean it's a good thing to do.
Right.
Don't mean it's a path that you need to stay on.
Absolutely.
Smoking crack, you smoke a blunt, you try all of this stuff.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up liking it. And now that I tried it and like it, I had the feeling, I tried, I like it, I was born, that was natural. You know what I mean?
And
That's
that's
just
the
what it
thing
is.
that gets me.
Chase the high.
The thing is that, so we got you, because that's good that you said that, that you born with that.
My play.
And that's a great, and the reason why I'm glad you brought that up is because that has to be addressed in the world. Because people think that man, if you have scientific studies, you could put a black child and a white child as a baby together. They grow up in the same atmosphere, in the same everything. They gonna have the same values, norms, etc.
They
Right?
won't even know the difference.
They won't know the difference, and there won't be no prejudice in them because they grow up in that atmosphere. Whatever place you're at, see, that's why it's so key. As fathers, we really have to create atmospheres for our children that they will really be able. And if you think about it, you talk about all these athletes, man. If they committed to their game, how many times they was really with their son? So with that being said, is we don't know. And I don't want to ostracize a Magic Johnson, Jason Kidd.
Yeah, no.
Dwayne Wade. I don't want to ostracize them because they black men, right? However, I ain't putting on no skirt and no changing my hair and all of that just because I want to tell my son I love you and you want to be a girl. I can tell you I love you and tell
Did
you.
the Bible teach that confusion?
The Bible says so in the way of the word. Since you bringing it up, so it says where
I don't have no
there's
question.
envy, there's strife, and confusion, or either one. There's every evil work, right? So yes, I believe that it's not. If you're confused about your identity, so then that gives us something as fathers to pray for, that our children know who they are, and know whose they are. That our children know that they the son of the living God, and He just used us to bring them into the world.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? And if they know that, then they can have a foundation of who they are and whose they are. Go ahead, Q.
I had 2 points. One, I had cousins, there was 5 boys. No father in the home. 4 oldest boys were straight. The last one was the baby, mama's baby. Ended up wanting to be a girl.
And they wasn't no father in the house, you said?
No.
Okay.
4 of them were straight and then mama's baby.
Ended up wanting to be like us.
That's what I'm saying.
Say 4 was killers.
But the baby was he always was special.
Just let you out of
always
town.
hung out with mom.
Okay.
I couldn't get it. I was trying to get that off a long
So that goes right back to what Bob said.
Yeah,
He was
exactly.
impressionable. The mom was impressionable on the kid, and that's why women. And I know this is about fatherhood. And that's why we gotta really impress upon our daughters, impress upon our wives, our sisters. Listen, don't let your son walk around here acting like that.
And it's gonna be
Because it's cute. They say it's cute when you a baby.
My other boy,
That ain't cute.
you know, I was a foster parent.
Right.
So I had all kind of had kids in the house.
Right.
Almost all of them was special needs. That's what they call them, special needs. Because somehow something happened to them. Trauma.
Right.
So on the mental part, I had to help. Well, because the one like Inca, you know Inca, when he first came there, he was on about 15 drugs.
Oh, okay.
Because
So those
family-
drugs to help control his attitude.
half of that stuff he didn't need. But the family that he came from, it was a Caucasian family. They would get more money if they promoted him. Yeah. So I had to wing him off of that, but
Man, you gotta watch
and with him being, see, he was sexually assaulted.
Who was
as a
that?
kid, Inca, as a kid. Him and his siblings. But he still did not want to be
Gotta
gay.
watch it. I got it. I think you did an amazing job on that.
Yeah.
Did an amazing job. Hey, we about to wrap it up, man. This has been interesting, boy. Y'all took it a whole nother place than what I wanted. But y'all know what we gotta do. You gotta give your domino tip of the day. Domino tips of the day. We starting off with G. Where you at?
Yeah, get one for Shoe, because I've been.
My domino tip of the day is throw that down there on the table.
Yeah, my domino tip of the day is you gotta, when you're playing with 4 people, you gotta hold your man. You gotta D him up so that he can't score. The person who follows you, D him up where he can't score or he can't play.
Right.
I'm saying that tip for Shoe.
Right.
He letting this man play. You know what I mean?
Let him help him to win.
Hey, no,
you ain't
not
supposed to
Q.
do it. No, this is a new game.
Hey, Ken, go ahead.
Yeah. You don't want no pointers from me. I'm new to this.
All right, so he's AKA Buster. That's the Buster on the table.
I don't think so. I don't know. I gotta be the worst player. That's all I gotta do is connect the dots. That's
Man, y'all are not giving nobody no help.
I got.
Go ahead. Donnell.
My advice: next time I play dominoes, Shoe's gonna play in front of me. He like the bases big.
And look, and I'm behind him, and I'm saying, look, would you pass him? He ain't passed him one time. This man in there domino 3-4 hands in a row.
All right, so look, this is the domino tip of the year. Don't be like Shoe.
I love that.
D him up.
So that
D
being
him
said,
up.
look, that's the tip
DM
of the day.
up.
Listen, what we want to do, give everybody their little closing remark, and then look, you got 15 seconds. You ain't even got that long. 15 seconds, say what you got to say going out. G.
God gave me this spirit. The word says, "Up there, get understanding." When you become understanding, you can be more patient. You can be more forgiving. You can be more kind, more thoughtful. And the spirit that He gave me is the spirit of love. And you can shed more and spread more love. And I like to end everything with saying that I wish we all spread more love. One love.
That's love. Donnell, I want Donnell.
I say, learn to accept whatever choice a person make in their life. If you love that person, accept it. And you might not agree with it, but love conquers everything. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
No, that was good. Remind me to say that.
Yeah, like I said, I just can't close the door on my family.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So whatever they bring into the table, my heart is open to them. I just can't close the door. So if they bring in homosexuality, I don't really accept that. And we can agree to disagree, but I just can't close the door on my family.
Absolutely.
No, I can't do
There you go.
All right, so we brought the guest from Evanston, Father.
Right, you got me cleaning, batting the number 4 spot here, cleaning up things.
Yeah.
Bring us home.
Basic
Yeah,
loaded.
basically, just kind of piggybacking off you guys, what you're saying, just looking for understanding, man. I mean, we expect, in these times that we're in right now, we're looking for, white people to understand us, listen to us.
True.
We need to do the same thing in terms of homosexuality, things of that extent. Again, you don't have to agree with it. You just need to listen, though.
it. Right.
I definitely don't, like I said, don't have to agree with it, but listen to it, process it, come up with your own conclusion. Don't, be your own on it, but listen to what the kids or family members have to say about it.
This is a serious matter. When we start talking about fatherhood, especially in the African American community, being able to recognize things in our family. When we talk about mental health, we talk about choices that our children have, being gay and things of that nature. But what I want to say is this. I don't have to, just because I love you, I don't have to accept your behavior. What I'll accept is you, because I love you. The Bible says love covers a multitude of sins. So in essence, I'm going to cover you in your mess. And I'm going to cover you with peace. I'm going to cover you with truth. I'm going to cover you with responsibility. And I'm going to cover you with accountability. And as I cover you, nobody else going to touch you. Because I'm going to cover you in love. And that's what we have to do with our kids. That's what we have to do with our family. Let's get into a place where we're covering each other with love. We don't have to judge just because you choose to walk your walk. Because at the end of the day, it's a journey. And so you wasn't always who you are right now.
Absolutely.
It was a time when you was a bust, where, in Ken's case, he's still a bust. It was a time when you were we did certain things. Dr. Ivy Hilliard in Texas, he called it dumb days. We all had dumb days when we were doing dumb stuff. We were doing irresponsible choices and making irresponsible choices. But guess what happens after that? When you can grow within them choices, then you have the ability to tell a young man that you have a choice. You have the ability and the wherewithal to tell somebody, listen, it's all about love. And when it's about love, it's about covering where you are until you come to where you need to be. This is D Squirrel. We out of here. One love. Peace. Dudes and Dominoes.
Yeah.